Alexander Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and we are doing another Digimon deck profile. A lot of these cards are going to look similar to the last ones in the last deck profile, but I am super excited about this new Digimon set. Versus Monsters, EX09, gonna be so cool. So many cool arts with the Digimon, Digivice arts for the border here, exclusive to this set. It is exclusive to the set because we have seen some other DM trait Digimon from future sets coming out and not having this border, which is going to make this set, I think, even more collectible going into the future. But today's deck profile is going to be over Machinedramon, something I'm super excited for. This is one of these secret rares in the set. This is going to be a DM trait version 5 machine, secret rare from the set. 12/12 on the stats, Digivolve 4 on any level 5 black, or for 3 on any of your DM trait Digimon. And spoilers, all of our Digimon are DM trait, because this is the DM deck. He says, all turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area by trashing its bottom 2 face down or cyborg trait Digimon cards, it doesn't leave. Now the wording on this is very particular of whether you have to trash either 2 face down or like 2 cyborg trait Digimon, it doesn't leave. So you have to be specific. You can't mix it up and be a face down and then the level 5. It's very specific on that. I know that this wording is tricky for a lot of people, but it has assembly 6, which is a new keyword in the game, right? Assembly -6. You get 4 level 5 cyborg trait Digimon cards with different names. When this would be played by placing the specified cards from the trash underneath it, reduce the play cost. So you need 4 level 5 Digimon. It has to be specifically 4 level 5s. Cyborg trait Digimon. It cannot be 3 or anything like that. You have to do assembly 6, which means you get to play this guy for 6, which is not bad for such a powerful Digimon. I wanted to cover those things first, and now we can get into what it actually does when it says, on play, when Digivolving, when attacking, once per turn. So you'll get this when you play it. When you Digivolve, when attacking, you're always going to be able to get this once per turn. By placing 1 level 5 cyborg or version 5 trait card from your hand or trash, as this Digimon's top Digivolution card, activate 1 on-play effect on the place card as an effect of this Digimon. So this Machinedramon is very, very versatile. You want to run a little bit of each of the level 5s in this set that are cyborgs or version 5s in their traits, so that way you can get a plethora of different things. Now the one thing I don't like about this card is it has to be the card that you place that you activate the on play. I think it would have been a little bit better and kind of go with the theme of the Digimon, you sucking up these Digimon and taking their powers for your own, so that makes a little sense. But I do wish that he would let you activate any of them in there. But this is the main guy, the only level 6 we're running into the deck, because a lot of these level 5s act as our other boss monsters as well. 2 of the protein, I've gone over this card before. It just lets you trash 2 bottom Digivolution cards to unsuspend when you're DM trait Digimon, and just, pay 2 or use 2 to draw a card. That is the other delay effect. Same thing with the meat. You pay 2 to draw a card, and then you get to, place 1 card from your hand face down as any of your DM trait Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards, and it may Digivolve into a DM trait Digimon card in the hand with the cost reduced by 2. So really, really good when you're able to Digivolve into a Machinedramon for 1. And you get to put a source into it to help you keep its all turns, keep it safe when it would leave the battle area. Really, really good. One thing to note is that the all turns to keep it safe effect is not a once per turn effect, which is really, really good. We are running 2 of the old analog youth. I know that there's a new one coming out. We will get to that one, but this is tried and true. 2 of this guy help you fuel your hand, fuel your sideline, and then also maybe get you some memory to gain off of when your Digimon that are level 5 with sources, which they're always going to almost have sources, gets destroyed. We are running 2 of the analog man, the new analog man. This is going to be the memory setter, and he says when any of your play costs 7 or higher, so it's going to be all of our level 5s, and then of course our 6 cost Machinedramon. It is a 12 play cost, but you do reduce it, but this card gets over it because of the way the wording, it just has a cost of that, even though when you reduce it, it only costs 6. The cost of the card is technically 12. But with that being said, when you play a cost 7 or higher cyborg machine or DM trait Digimon or play by suspending this tamer, draw 1 and gain a memory. So a memory setter that lets you draw 1 and gain a memory. Really, really good. And you can always use that effect. Then you may use this other effect. Place 1 card from your hand face down as any of those Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards, giving you sources to keep that Machinedramon being a pesky problem for your opponent to deal with. And then we have the new analog youth running 3 of this one because I feel like this one is a little bit more important than the other 2 in this style of the deck. I love the art on the analog youth here, having his Mamemon with him, really reminiscent of Digimon World 1 on the art here, continuing from the other analog youth. It is a DM trait card, very specific to note that him, Analog Man, and both of the option cards are all DM traits, so you can grab them through your hands from your searchers. It costs you 3 and it has a starter main effect. You may place 1 card from your hand face down as any of your DM trait Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. That's one thing. And then your turn, when face down cards are placed as any of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. By suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. Then if you have several fewer cards in your hands, draw a card. So it just lets you place a card. When a card is placed underneath it, this should all kind of been one effect, but it isn't. But they kind of go together. So you just get to place a source to draw a card. And then it just says opponent's turn, all your Digimon face down Digivolution cards gain reboot. So all 3 of these effects all work together on the same card. Love to see it. That is the options in the top end of the deck. Now, we do run a plethora of level 5s. We are running 2 Metal Mamemon level 5s, 2 of the Endramon level 5s from the set, 2 of the Metal Greymon version 1s from the set. These are all our toolboxy-ish kind of things. They all have the effect where when they would be played by trashing, you know, one cyborg trait or their version trait Digimon, you get to reduce the play cost by 2. But we have a ton of cyborgs in the deck that let us reduce all of these Digivolution cards. Every single one of our level 5s let us trash the level 5 cyborgs, or 1 cyborg, and then whatever their version is. The only one that is a little bit different is going to be this X-Tyrannomon. It's an 8/8, whereas all the rest of them are 7/7s. It digivolves for 4 on a green level 4. It digivolves on a Raremon, cost of 3, or a level 4 with DM trait, cost of 4. So any of your level 4s, it can digivolve. It has Fortitude, which is really, really important. Just saying, if it has sources, face down cards do count as sources. So even if it's by itself and it has a source underneath it, you will be able to bring it back out. It has the all turns inheritable when this Digimon, once returned, deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash their top security, which is one of the most important inheritables in this deck. And it's very versatile going on the Raremon and DM trait cards. And then it also says on play, when digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with the lowest DP to the hand. So if they only have 1 Digimon, you get to suspend it and then trash the source that you're going to have underneath this guy to then return their lowest DP suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck, or to the hand, which is going to be super, super strong. Running 3 of this one, and then 3 of the Metal Tyrannomon, which I think is another one of the more important cards that you need to run in the deck. It digivolves on a Tyrannomon a name or DM trait for a cost of 3, or your black or green level 4s for 4. It does have piercing inheritable, which is really important for us being able to swing over our opponent's Digimon and get our checks in. You get to reduce the play cost by 2 by trashing the cyborgs, which is really, really good. And then on play, when digivolving, by placing 1 card from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, which is really, really important because we're going to be filling our trash up and then using those sources to get value later. De-digivolve 1 of each of your opponent's. De-digivolve 1 for each of this Digimon's face down Digivolution cards, then delete one of your opponent's 3000 or lower Digimon. So for each face down Digivolution card, you de-digivolve 1, de-digivolve 1, de-digivolve 1, and then you get to pick a Digimon to then delete that is 3000 or DP or lower, which can be really, really strong. Another big disruptor in the deck. So you can see where this deck is being a very control-heavy deck. We are only running 1 of the Machinedramon. I do feel like this count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is, 13 different level 5s in the deck. And I do think this Machinedramon is one of the ones, even though it has a very strong effect, even if attack once returned by unsuspending this Digimon, delete one of your Digimon at the lowest level. That part is pretty cool. But we're just running it for another name and another decent effect. It is just on play when digivolving by placing 1 Digimon card from your trash face down this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Delete 2 of your opponent's play cost for a lower Digimon. For each of this Digimon's face down Digivolution cards, add 1 to this effect's play cost maximum. So this lets you delete 2 of their level 4 or 5 or 6s, depending on how many sources you have. I just think that this one, the inheritable, is not as big and important as you want in the deck, even though its on play effect is absolutely so insanely strong. I think that we are really looking out for the inheritables a little bit more in what we want out of our level 5s. Now, we've already gone over the Metal Greymon before. It's just a generic security attack +1, and then it lets you pop the bodies. And then Andromon has an important inheritable having blocker, and then letting us reduce the DP of our opponent's Digimon by 3,000, and then for each card face down in its sources, another 2,000, which is really, really strong. And then the Metal Mamimon having a really good inheritable. End of your turn, once per turn, one of your Digimon unsuspends, because we don't have a lot of any ways to, get the reboot outside of the analog youth down here. If we have the sources into it, he gets all of our Digimon reboot, but this is just another way to make sure that we get to end of our turn, once per turn, pick something that maybe doesn't have reboot and unsuspend it, which is going to be really, really strong. And it just lets us, by placing one Digimon card from our trash face down as its Digivolution cards, from one of your opponent's Digimon, trash one Digivolution card for each of this Digimon's face down Digivolution cards, then return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom deck. So very, very specific here, but this card is really, really key getting over some pesky ace Digimon in the current meta of the card game, because they will not have sources, so then you just get to put them at the bottom of the deck and get that ace overflow. Going to be so, so, so good. The level 5s are what makes this deck so amazing and cool. There are so many cool ones. You can run these in different counts that you want. I do believe that, the Metal Tyrannomon and X Tyrannomon are a little bit more important for you to be able to get into the Machinedramon and get some really good inheritables, but you can mix these up in any ways you like to build up your Machinedramon. One thing to note is that we have to run so many different types because they have to be different names. So 4 level 5 with different names in here, and we are running 2, 4, 6 different names. So that gives us a little bit more. If you want to run some of the older cards, I do think some of those could be a little bit better, but I wanted to stick to the DM trait because we're trying to build decks from the set. We do run 2 of this Raremon. This one is a little bit different than our other level 4s. It is a version 5, which is very important in this deck, trying to stay on the version 5 trait line here. It just says, on deletion, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, which keeps your opponent from wanting to really clear your board if that ever is the case. It does digivolve on 2 generically on all your DM trait level 3s. And it says, end of your turn once per turn by placing 3 Digimon cards with the version 5 trait from your trash face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. It may digivolve into a Digimon card with version 5 trait in the hand or trash. You do not get to ignore the Digivolution card requirements or anything like that. So there are a couple different targets that you can do here. We do have the version 5 on these 2 particular ones, the X Tyrannomon and the Metal Tyrannomon, which is why I am saying that these need to be on higher counts, because then you can digivolve them. You could digivolve, say you use the 2 memory, it passes the turn over to your opponent. Well, if you have the sources in your trash, you could place 3 Digimon cards with the version 5 trait from your trash underneath the Raremon, and then it will let you digivolve into one of these guys. You do have to pay the cost, but now you have a lot of sources to really be able to, mess up your opponent's plays, because that's going to be 3, 4 if you had one from the rookie, and then 5 from their own effects placing something else, pretty much being able to let you clear any Digimon off of the board. A very, very powerful combo. One of the other version 5 trait Digimon that you can place from it are going to be your other level 4s, because I made sure to include these particular ones in the deck. This one just says, on deletion, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. So further punishing your opponent if they ever do get rid of your Machinedramon or any of your other Digimon that are in this line. Now they're going to get punished for being able to do so. It does have training, which is really important. It digivolves for 2, which is super important on your DM traits. And it just says, on play, when digivolving, you may place 1 card from your hand face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. For each of this Digimon's face down Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of your Digimon may attack your opponent's Digimon. This is really, really good because you want to be able to digivolve or hard play this guy and then let your Machinedramon or anyone else be able to attack one of your opponent's Digimon. This one is so good being a generic, just suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, so that way you can swing over it, hopefully with piercing, and then end of turn being able to stand back up, which is really, really strong. But it is a version 5, and it is a little bit more generic than the Raremon in getting its effect off, so that's why I have the Raremon down to 2. But I do think the Raremon is really, really important. And then we have the Digimon having an inheritable on deletion, delete when your opponent's level 4 Digimon, which can come up. We want to punish our opponent whenever they try to kill our Digimon. It is version 5 DM trait, which is really, really good. It has training on it, and it digivolves for 2 on our DM traits, and it says, when digivolve, when attacking, once per turn. This one is not an on play, which is very, very specific to remember in this deck. Once per turn by placing 1 card in your hand face down as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Draw a card, which this one is really important for keeping your consistency going. You can do the training, suspend it, get an effect, when digivolving, place one in it, draw a card, get the effect, and then hopefully be able to, pop off on your level 5s, having multiple face down sources in it. Going to be really, really strong. But we are running 4 of those. We're going to run 4 of the Agumon. Now, this is a searcher in the deck. We do run a lot of the version 1 traits. This will grab you any DM trait card, and then it will let you tuck a version 1 trait face down underneath your Digimon. It does give us the DP boost that we want. The 2000 DP boost is going to go a long way to help our Machinedramon get up to 14,000. We don't have a lot of other ways to boost its DP up, so if they ever do have a troublesome Digimon, we're going to have to hope to, you know, use some of the digivolving effects and stuff like that to hopefully help us be able to get over their Digimon, because we don't have the crazy stat boost here. But we do have other version 1 trait Digimon that you can tuck into the sources, mainly being the Andromon here, being your version 1, and the Metal Greymon here also being a version 1 trait that you can tuck into the sources if you do see them, and then grab a different one that you would probably want to do. The main rookie that you want to see in this deck is going to be the Gazimon. He has that retaliation inheritable, and you can see here now building up this Machinedramon. Even if you don't assembly it and you have to go into some Digivolution lines, say you go Gazimon, get the retaliation, say you go Raремon or any of these guys, level 5, and then the Machinedramon, you do have some very good inheritables that's going to keep your opponent from wanting to be able to kill you, because say they swing into the Machinedramon, you can't save it. Which you can do, because it just says whenever it would leave the battle area. It doesn't say by battle or anything, just any way it would leave. If you don't have the protection, now when they finally do kill it, you're going to have retaliation, you're going to have de-digivolve, you're going to have all these cool different things to do to that Digimon to punish him for killing you. And this is also the searcher in our deck, letting us grab any DM trait to our hand and then tucking any version 5 into our Digivolution, which version 5 is the main trait that we're trying to go in here, being a majority of the deck. And we're just rounding it off with 2 more generic DM rookies, having the Kunmon that has training, Gizamon that has training, because we want as many sources as possible in our Machinedramons, and these 2 let us do it with the training. But we also want some decent inheritables, which this one says when attacking once per turn, trash the bottom Digi card for one of your opponent's Digimon if you have anything very specific that they're getting into, and then the Kunmon giving us another piercing effect to go into the Metal Tyrannomon if we're not able to find him. You can build this deck any which way you want, and you're going to be able to do some cool stuff. We are running one of the Koromon, which is just once per turn with this Digimon with face down Digivolution card may Digivolve into a version 1 trait Digimon card in the hand with the Digivolution cards reduced by 1 when attacking. This one will come up because we do run a little bit more of a version 1 package than the other traits outside of the level or the version trait 4s, because you can go into one of these 2, the Metal Greymon or the Andromon, but outside of that, the level 4s you will not be able to. But if any of your level 4s are swinging once per turn, they can Digivolve into one of these 2 guys, because they can go on any DM traits for a cost of 3, and then the Koromon will then further reduce it by 1. There is a lot of value in this deck, but the main one we're going to be doing is going to be, of course, the version 5 rookie, because it says when attacking once per turn, by trashing this Digimon's bottom face down Digivolution card, this Digimon may Digivolve into a version 5 trait Digimon card in the trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. So this is not taking a card in your hand, but you do you do have to trash your face down source, which I don't like, because you want those sources, but that is okay, because then we get to pick from our trash, which should be a little bit more full than our hand at some points. But I think that this is going to be a really fun deck to play. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool things that you can do with Machinedramon, and however you want to build him, you can. I do think a more competitive version of the deck will be mixing this Machinedramon with current builds and just taking whichever cyborgs in this one that you want. But I'm looking forward to building just a straight Machinedramon deck in this set. I need 4 of him, and he's a secret rare, and I need 4 of the Chimeramon too. But I look forward to throwing down the perfect machine on people, getting some cool effects, which is always the best part of Machinedramon. But I want to know what you guys think. What do y'all think about this deck profile? I think it is a good core for y'all to go off of. I will obviously be working on these deck lists and builds to make them a little bit more streamlined. But leave in the comments down below what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like to it. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. Peace.